slow going on Columbus Avenue in New York City this morning. Snow is falling on ice-coated streets, increasing the hazards of this major winter storm. Hundreds of school districts are closed in the New York suburbs, Long Island, and also northern New Jersey. Good morning and welcome to the Weather Center. I'm Will Annan. This winter season 99 is making travel difficult and dangerous from Ohio to New England. Besides New York and New Jersey, many schools are also closed in Ohio, West Virginia, and also the state of Pennsylvania. Our live team coverage of this major storm continues now, beginning with Bruce Edwards in the Forecast Center. Bruce?
Thanks, Will, and good morning, everyone. I tell you, when you've had enough winter weather, when you hear the kids complaining about not going to school, but many kids from Michigan to Ohio to Pennsylvania and on points eastward haven't been to school all that much in 1999, and they know eventually down the road going to have to make up a few of those days. So the kids have had enough of free time already. They're ready to get back down to it, but I tell you, Mother Nature's not cooperating. As we've anticipated, that bitter cold Arctic high built down into the northeast, and the moisture arrived, and we've seen the snow and the ice develop throughout the Ohio Valley, the Appalachians, and into the northeast. And again, the precipitation continues to flow on to the north, although Pittsburgh's getting a wee bit of a break right now, as is Cleveland, as everything's sliding off to the east. Central Pennsylvania is still glazed. I mean, the only glaze I like is on a donut, but unfortunately Pennsylvania is just going to have an icy sheen to it this morning. If you are flying today, you'll have to be patient because there are airport delays aplenty in the northeast, from Dulles and Washington National to Baltimore to Philly. All the New York major airports, Newark, JFK, LaGuardia, all reporting delays, as well as Logan Airport in Boston. So again, a good book, a crossword puzzle, something to keep you occupied because you're going to have some delays there to contend with. Now, in New York, you saw a dramatic change from yesterday to today. 50 degrees and balmy but cloudy yesterday morning. 24 hours later, there it is. Yeah, it looks pretty to look at from a distance, but it's slow going as Westchester County, New York has seen light snow and ice soften on throughout the course of the night and early morning. And that slowed traffic down considerably, and the wise will slow down if they have to travel. If you don't absolutely have to, you might be even wiser to keep it in the garage and avoid those auto repair bills that may be forthcoming with numerous fender benders. But no matter whether you're driving in the ice, trying to walk and negotiate a slippery sidewalk, everyone has to deal with the bitterly cold temperatures that have invaded the Northeast. Jeff Morrow is situated in eastern Pennsylvania at King of Prussia, near the Pennsylvania Turnpike, the Schuylkill Highway there. And Jeff, good morning. It looks like things have eased up as far as the glaze is concerned, and not looking too bad at this point in time.
No, I think Philadelphia, Bruce, has really weathered the storm pretty well so far. We have had the goulash, as you like to call it, the ice and then a little bit of sleet and snow. We've had a little bit of everything here today, but a little bit. It hasn't been a major accumulation of either ice or snow or sleet so far. Now, we still have temperatures well down below freezing, and we still have some time to go before things warm back up again. And to talk a little bit about how the public transportation end of it has fared, we have Stefan Rosenfeld, who's with SEPTA, the Southeast Pennsylvania Transit Authority. And Stefan, could you tell me, first of all, what kind of public transportation do you deal with, and how have you fared with this storm?
Well, we carry almost 1 million riders a day on regional rail cars, subways, trolleys, trains, and buses throughout the 5-county service territory here in the greater Philadelphia area. We had an absolutely fabulous morning commute given the severity of the weather situation. People used SEPTA, they used caution, and above all, they used common sense.
What roads were the worst affected? The main roads, the secondary roads?
The State Department of Transportation and the City of Philadelphia did a fabulous job on the main arteries. Secondary streets were troublesome. The hilly areas, particularly in the City of Philadelphia and in the outlying areas, were very, very difficult.
So we're still set up pretty well in case we get some more wintry weather later today?
We're ready for later today. We're advising people again to use caution when boarding and leaving vehicles and when dealing with platforms and parking lots, but we're as ready as we're ever going to be.
And some good advice might be, even though it looks okay on some of our shots on the main roads, it's still a little bit tricky out there.
Yeah, a big concern here in this kind of weather is not to get lulled into a false sense of security, because it does look good for the moment. As we're talking on the air now, it's starting to pick up a little bit. We're getting pelted with some sleet. So it can be deceiving, and we tell people to use extreme caution.
All right, Stefan, thank you very, very much for talking to us and coming out in this brutal weather here today. It's kind of cold standing out here in King of Prussia. We'll keep you updated, though, from Philadelphia as we're expecting more wintry weather. Back to you, Bruce.
Thanks very much. Jeff Moore live at King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. weathering the storm in eastern Pennsylvania, north of Philadelphia. Well, a lot of folks are dealing with that nasty weather. Paul Kosin, our winter weather expert, has joined us this year, and you have had a very busy couple of weeks, and there's no sign of any ending anytime soon, especially in the Northeast.
No, we are beginning to see sometimes possibility of descending by the end of tomorrow, but let's focus on today first. High pressures across eastern Canada, that's still major player for the weather situation, bringing very cold air across much of New York and New England. Incredibly cold temperatures considering that they're actually getting light snow. Only 3 degrees with snow in Boston. Much of that snow is falling across New York, Pennsylvania, southern New England, expecting to get several inches. South of that is a lot of warm air aloft, freezing rain and sleet. Again, as Jeff mentioned, across Philadelphia. That freezing rain is extending down towards the Washington area. Cold air has been drifting south along the eastern slopes of the Appalachians down towards Virginia. Little warm wedge of air along the Appalachians themselves into West Virginia. And it's that second low that's sitting over the upper plain states that we're expecting to drift southeast and help spawn another storm along the east coast tomorrow.
The temperatures are brutal. Again, everyone's feeling the effect whether or not you're dealing with the snow or the ice. We see readings below zero as far south as Albany, single digits Elmira, Rochester, Boston. And again, wind chill factors are again terribly cold, dangerously cold in some instances. But this is a record-setting cold snap across parts of New England.
All right, temperature at Allagash, Maine hit minus 55 this morning. That's an all-time record for the state of Maine. Might also be an all-time record for New England as well.
Okay, I have to wait till all the ducks are counted on this one here. But the precipitation continues, although we're seeing things break up a little bit over parts of Virginia and West Virginia as far as the moisture is concerned.
Right, but it looks like much of Pennsylvania and New York and southern New England still in the thick of it. Temperatures again near zero across New York with all that precipitation falling. We can see temperatures in Monticello near 0 degrees, just north of New York. New York still along the fringes of the precipitation, getting sleet and snow. But to the north there, it looks like quite a bit of snow falling right now.
Yeah, like you get up around Monticello, you get up towards the Catskills and the Poconos, it's coming down. And if it switches over to some ice overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, a thick coating of ice, that means down tree limbs, that means down power lines, and that means some mighty cold folks tonight and tomorrow possibly.
Right, and especially over Pennsylvania and western New York where they've had all the problems in recent weeks. Continuation of the freezing rain. Looks like some drying is occurring the extreme west towards Pittsburgh.
That is good news indeed. They've been salting and sanding the roads considerably. Again, around the nation's capital, we're starting to pick up a few more radar echoes to the southwest of the nation's capital, heading off to the northeast, so perhaps a little freezing drizzle yet to come this morning.
Right, it looks like there isn't much in the way of organization, but even Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, temperatures still well below freezing, especially to the west of Washington and Baltimore, so some freezing
monthly payment.